It's the Nuclear Playground Podcast.
We're recording.
I think I'm gonna start like recycling old theme songs periodically,
Like,
from like the old like shit that we were doing.
oh my god, I can't remember any of them until they come out of your face. Oh, that sounds familiar.
I know all of them, like that one with that jazzy ass bass line. Was
Yeah.
And then there's the piano one.
Yep.
It's like diddly 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 wee.
I remember that one, dude. It was good times. Still good times.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel?
I feel I'm a little busted up.
Yep.
We haven't uploaded the video yet, but we found a snowboard in the alley.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna ride that bitch, and it works. Needless to say,
Yeah.
I ate the ground a little bit with my forehead.
Well, you should see the video.
Actually-
you guys will see the video.
Actually, my forehead was like the last thing to hit the ground, so luckily I didn't get a concussion because I stopped myself with my wrist and my
In his
it was my
face.
hand. I sprained my hand and my hip. I actually bent my I have a metal stylus pen, bent it with my hip, and then actually I know why it's bruised up down there now. It's because I had a grinder in my adventure pouch,
Oh,
a
okay.
big fat metal grinder, and it
You
hit me
gotta
dead in the
be-
thigh, like bitch.
I don't know. Maybe it's my short-term memory, but like for some reason, like it's a little bruise down there. Came off a little different. Like, what were you doing?
She liked to beat it up like a speed bag.
Tenderize it. I put it on the table. Like, get it nice and numb so you can last longer.
That shit sounds so painful. I almost threw up in my mouth a little bit.
But yeah, no, you did a fantastic spill.
Yeah, I almost did a 180 on that bitch too.
Yeah, you did. Actually,
After the injury.
I have
But,
that on camera.
Yeah, I'm excited about this winter because I actually want to do more on that snowboard and see how good I can get in the course of like 4 months.
Well, 4 to 6 months, depending on
What kind of year we have.
Right.
Yeah.
What kind of Minnesota winter we got. It's really interesting, and I can hear the neighbors
They're fucking hard.
doing something.
He's
It
like,
probably won't come up on camera, but
it sounds like hammering, but I'm pretty certain they're getting it in.
you know what? I never thought about this. Well, after the podcast, we're gonna have to take a look at the sound because I never thought about like, do you think that is making any?
Let's just real quick and I'll look. Yeah, a little bit.
Tiny bit.
I might be able to do something about that.
We got a new furnace in the studio that works wonderful, but it is
Way
fucking-
better than our old
It's
heating
a little
system.
bit louder than.
We might have to actually get more curtain.
No, we will. That's the idea. The idea is to get more lights in here to, like,
Yeah.
give us some ambiance.
Ambiance. I don't know how dark I look on that camera right now.
Actually, that
we have a new camera which works just as well as the other new camera, which is like Sherm's camera if it was like on heroin.
That camera's a new camera too, by the way.
Oh yeah, because your old one got stolen.
Yep, when they stole my van, took it for a little ride around the neighborhood and crashed it into somebody's house. Yeah, it was fun. I remember that whole thing.
It does not sound like a fun experience.
Wasn't. And then if you like chase people
In fact,
down, it's against
I was
the law.
awake that morning, and he called me and was like, "Hey man, if you see my van out on the street, let me know."
Right. It just took off. Ran away from the house. I let it out to go pee, and it just kept going.
Like, van, come back!
I'm like, no.
Your food.
And then, like, every time I would run towards it, it would run away further. God damn. Then eventually, it just got out of sight.
It's like chasing a cat with a mouse in its mouth.
Or a dog. Remember Sheba?
Mm-hmm.
She would stop and wait for you to get closer. Then
And then she
run.
would take the fuck off.
Yep.
Yeah.
She'd think that's a game.
Or like Mo, where he just bolts out the door with no concern of his environment.
And gets run over and ends up three-legged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, costing somewhere like $1,600 or $1,800. I can't really remember.
Me and Rowena actually got to keep a close eye on Coffee because she likes to bark at cars, and she's a herd animal. Like, she likes to herd creatures. So like,
Right.
she sees these cars flying by, and she's like, "Get your ass over here!" So I'm certain if she wasn't on that leash, she'd just be gone.
Right. Yep.
And the people over on Radcliffe, they drive like assholes.
Is that the neighborhood?
That's the street that she's on.
Oh, okay.
I mean, people out there kind of drive weird anyway. But a lot of the drivers out there are much better drivers than the ones here.
Yeah, which is
It's really like depends on where you're at. Like, okay, you know how like in South Minneapolis, off of
Right.
Franklin and Bloomington, like
right.
everybody there just can't drive. It's like that in Dearborn too.
Right.
Like you go out to Dearborn and can't nobody drive.
Right. You got a bunch of people from different places with different traffic rules, and then people who just driving without
thing
license.
popped open.
Oh my goodness! I guess it's time for more fire.
We got a poltergeist.
Hold on. Give me like 2 seconds.
Do 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 do. You know what's funny? Like we should have like a please stand by technical difficulties shit for like the YouTube version of it, and I'll go do 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 do.
And it'll be done.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that sucked.
I'll make sure I make a loop of that later.
That's funny. So like, it works well though. It's dumb hot in here. Kind of thinking I should have rethought about the ductwork system. I should have made one here so it just dumps in areas
Yeah, that'd be dope.
instead of, you know.
Well, you'd have to actually make vents and ducts and shit then.
Well, yeah, I can just attach it to the ceiling, but you know, no big
Why
deal.
wouldn't you? Well, I guess because you want to walk around up there. That you don't want to just dig holes in the fucking wood and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm planning on making a bedroom up there, so when people come from out of town or
I
whatever.
thought that was gonna be Jamie's den.
Nope. Nope. That's my space. This is my space. This
So only
garage.
Tom can go up there.
Tom's already there. In the corner. In tattered clothing.
Anybody that spends the night, you're like, this is your friend Tom.
Yep. And then he comes out, my precious.
Comes out with like 3 keyboards around his waist.
Yeah.
Precious.
And then we lock them up there, and then they're just like, it's just you and me, Tom. From here on out. Until Tom gets hungry.
Just you and me, Tom. Just you and me, Tom. Oh, good times. So, anything that you've heard about lately going on in the neighborhood or in the news or anything?
Election's coming right around the corner. And
I need you to be my witness tomorrow for my absentee ballot. I was letting my mom do it today, but she's in a conference meeting as we speak. Like she's been in mad like COVID conferences for like the last week or so now, getting our publishing company off the ground and stuff. I think she was like in an investors meeting or something like that today.
Okay.
So
Well, that's pretty cool.
yeah.
No. Okay.
I mean, how are you voting?
I already did.
You did your absentee ballot? Okay, good. Because my father called me up. He was actually to deliver the news about Shauna, or Shauna's mom.
Yeah, shout out about passing.
R.I.P. Anna. We had good times. But no, we talked about that for a little bit, and then I asked him what he was doing later because I had the day off and wanted to hang out with my pops for a little bit, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go vote," and I was like, "You're gonna be waiting forever."
Right.
And I was like, I wouldn't even went. I would have just got my absentee ballot if I was you, because you're gonna be at risk, and you already got like a bunch of surgeries done. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that something you really want to do? Like, your health isn't the best as it is when you're fine.
Right.
I don't know how his wife is gonna vote. I'm hoping that she does a smart thing and does a mail-in vote.
When's the last day? Is it on the 3rd? The exact day?
You have to have your shit postmarked by the 2nd.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get my shit done like ASAP because they just sent me my ballot. But no, I'm hoping she does the smart thing and she does the mail-in vote, because I don't want my dad to get all fucked up. and he's already putting himself at risk going out there, and it's like, I'm not trying to do that.
Right.
Like, my mom's 2 years older than my dad. You know what I'm saying? Her health is a little bit better, a lot bit better, but I don't want to put her or Grace at risk. So,
right. I mean, I'm starting to get to that age where 80 or 90% is 100%.
mm-hmm.
So like, not feeling good is par for the course. So I don't want it to be worse.
And my pops is at the age because of his drinking. Well, first of all, he's 54, 55, so he's not young, and then two, he drinks a lot. So like, his body's vastly different than mine or my mom's.
Right.
And you know, like, I'm pretty certain his kidney look like oatmeal. I just don't want him to fucking get sick and then he can't handle the shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's my main concern. When I found out about Shauna's mom from my dad, he said that he didn't know how she had went out, and so my first thought was COVID.
Right.
But Shauna talked to the coroner, and they said they didn't know right away because they hadn't run any tests yet, but they were assuming that it was a heart attack. She was at home by herself, so if it was a heart attack, you know what I'm saying? And if she doesn't know the symptoms, because ladies have different symptoms than men do.
Right.
And not everybody's really aware of the female symptoms of a heart attack.
Right.
And so she probably wasn't herself either. She's from a different generation than us. They probably were under the assumption, this is the assumption still, that men and women are the same. The only difference is that women have pesky hormones. And you know, I mean, it literally could have been anything. So I'm going to call my sister and find out, actually, see if she heard anything. Because I know that she has spent the last few days just being upset. And I don't know if she's in the mood to talk to anybody. Like, when we offered to go hang out and spend some time with her, she's like, I just wanted to be by myself.
Right.
So,
well, yeah, it makes sense.
mm-hmm.
Man, it's been rough on a lot of people lately. It's almost becoming a point where we're on here talking about dead people on a regular basis.
It's terrible.
That'll be this year's theme. Death.
I still feel like we're gonna have a really uncomfortable next couple months after November 3rd.
Man, so
we won't know who's really the president until like February.
There's a lot of people, like, even I don't. Here's the thing, like, I don't know who's writing these stories. I don't know if they're, because like, even places that we're used to getting our news from, like, where they're supposed to be unbiased and legit, are turning out to be, you know, sensationalizing and fucking not really giving a full.
A lot of those stories, though,
issues.
that Trump is sorry, let me start from the beginning. Excuse me. A lot of those stories are being sensationalized by the president himself, though. You know what I mean? Like, when he was talking about people were throwing ballots into the fucking river or creek, or like people were just like sending their ballots to the wrong people, shit like that. One was found out to be like a clerical error, like somebody sent some votes to the wrong office. That was like, oh shit, I fucked up, my job's on the line, that kind of thing. But they recovered all those ballots, and then they reported all those ballots per their job, and then another situation where they're like, oh well, they found some ballots in the river. They didn't. They found some mail in the river, and none of which contained ballots. So
okay, but no, that's not what I'm talking about, though.
Are you talking about the media sensationalizing?
Yeah,
shit?
yeah.
As far as what?
Well, like, hate groups. All right, so like, there's supposedly a bunch of armed militia who are like racist, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to put it. They're racist militia that are waiting for Trump to be voted out, and if he gets voted out, then they're going to go on the offensive, right? So I don't know.
That's what's reported.
Yeah, that's what's reported. And also you can hear, like, all throughout, like, the internet, a lot of people talking about, like, there being a civil unrest or a civil dispute, or more or less a civil war, and it's not going to be like whatever it was, you know. When was the Civil War? 1860, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember my history right now, but they're talking about a possible civil war, and you can hear it amongst, like, in some of it. A lot of the people aren't talking about it, but there's people who are talking about it, especially a lot of the angry, racist fucking people, right?
Right.
And of course, you have a lot of people on the who are left wingers talking about, oh, if Trump wins, we're gonna burn this motherfucker down. Like, that's definitely not a way to handle it either.
No, I don't think anybody's, unless you're voting and doing your part, your opinions aside, like, there should be no other extreme. You know what I mean? Like, just vote. And keep your opinions to yourself or other like-minded individuals. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you really got to do. And if your guy doesn't get the fucking bid, you have every right to complain, but that's all you can really do.
Who wants to be the president of the fucking apocalypse, though? Like, honestly.
Biden.
And Trump. I think Trump's more suited for the president of the apocalypse, though. I mean, I think he can bring it on more.
Do you think that a long time ago Trump bumped into, like, some gypsy and, like, she was like, oh, president of the apocalypse, it's the prophecy, and then
Probably.
Like he just believed that shit wholeheartedly, like, there's a virus that kills people? Yes.
Hey, it's not even, but that's the problem. It's not like Inferno, like you were saying, where like 2/3 of the population is dying.
Right.
I mean, the sick, twisted, like, anarchist and fucking apocalyptic loving person I am, like, that little tiny piece of me is like, God willing, right? But, like, that's a lot. That's, like, gonna set us back a lot. Not just, like, with like financially. I'm talking, like, set us back, like, way the fuck back.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be going back to, like, at least the 60s or the 50s, because we gotta rebuild.
You're talking about if it was like 2/3 of the people gone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we don't even know out of those 2/3 what's 2/3.
Like, what if, like, a certain person that we need,
Exactly.
like an engineer,
Who knows how to build
or,
a
like,
TV here?
I know to take one apart.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know how to make the glass to make that TV. I don't know how to make the copper wire. Well, I do know how to make copper, and I do know how to make copper wire.
You know about, like, circuitry and shit.
I do, but I don't know how to make the actual circuit board. I don't know what it's made of. I don't know how. I don't know, like,
If the parts are available, I could build a computer, but I can't make, like you
The
said,
parts.
I can't make the display itself.
Yeah, or even the parts itself. Like, you know how to
Yeah.
make a capacitor? Because
fuck no.
I know what a capacitor is.
Bro, I didn't even know the first step to making a processor, but I know how that bitch works.
Right, exactly. So we gotta, like, start from what we have left, and, like, we'll have everything left because it's just like a disease, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine 2/3 of the population gone. What are we left with? Random people that know random facts, right? Is that enough? It's definitely not gonna knock us back to the Stone Age era, you know, where if, like, let's just say 8/10, or that's fucking like 5. That's like 4/10 or 4/5. 4/5 of the population's gone, right? That's setting us way the fuck back, right? But we're still in the millions. We still
Right.
have millions of people, so we're still good. That's not going to set us back to the Stone Age. I believe there's enough people in the world to know some shit to get us back. Maybe not in our lifetime, but in the following decade, to get us back up, or maybe in our lifetime to get us
Right.
back up to par, to where we were. But, like, who knows how all this shit works? Oh, we'll be lucky. I think we need the population to be down to, like, 100,000 or less for it to be, like, Stone Age.
I'm looking at this headline here while we're talking about this,
What's that?
and I don't know what it's for. It's just on a Google search. I'm assuming it's a Christian, like, news site, because there's a lot of keywords here.
Yeah.
But it says Trump is an apocalypse. I kind of want to click it.
Click it.
I'm gonna
See
click
what it says.
Let's see what it says.
What does it say?
It's loading because, you know, there's garage and whatnot.
And why don't you just say your phone? You don't want
I have
the
supreme
badass.
service.
Your shitty phone. service in this garage.
What is the week? What kind of site are you?
The week?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never
Okay.
even.
Well, I'm gonna read this. This is written by Bonnie Christian with a K.
Okay.
The last book of the Bible is an apocalypse. We call it Revelation in English, but in Greek it's apocalypsis, as in apocalypsis of Jesus Christ to his servant John. Apocalypsis does not mean catastrophe. There's plenty of that in Revelation, but our use of apocalypse is a synonym for world-ending disaster as the result of this book, not the other way around. Apocalypsis is literally a literary genre our culture has abandoned. It simply means revealing, thus revelation.
Yeah.
The concept is one of unmasking, of unveiling a previous hidden truth.
Right.
The display is necessary, but that doesn't make it happy. Seeing it can feel like the end of the world. Apocalypsis is a moment of exposure, a paradigm shift. A moment of exposure, a paradigm shift. I thought there was another comma coming. It's suddenly realizing you were in the wrong. It's finally admitting a relationship is over. It's turning on the light and seeing cockroaches scatter. There's a quote here. The most useful thing about Donald Trump is that he coaxes many people into revealing their worst character traits in defense of him.
Thank you.
End quote, tweeted Corey Whalen, a freelance writer and former communications director for Representative Justin Amash. After the president's go back to where you came from remarks, quote, I've learned a lot of terrible things about many folk I was once comfortable associating with, end quote. Whalen added, I'm a whole lot more cautious now, end quote. So,
yep. And that was what I was saying. The one good thing about President Trump was that everybody revealed themselves, their true selves and their true nature, you know? And that's about it. I was like, oh, well, here's all the racism. He just, like, lifted the rug a little bit more, you know? Because shit was already out, you know what I mean? So.
yeah.
I mean, that's...
So it's more like
an opinion piece.
Like a metaphysical apocalypse.
Right.
Like a spiritual apocalypse of sorts.
Like he revealed the racism in this country and the hate that is like there. It is pretty gross.
It's nasty.
Yep.
You know, and it came out even more so during like the first like few months of the pandemic, and it hasn't really slowed down since. There's leaves in my hair.
Actually, remember when we were living? I was living on Dowling in the very first studio, and cops were shooting motherfuckers left and right. And this is well before George Floyd and like all that shit. It got fucking wild here, right? We had the little fucking protests at the police stations and all that shit. And this was years ago, you know, years before this, and the same thing was going on then, except for it was like ramping up. And then it got to a point where the whole world sees everything now, instead of just like I think the whole world saw it, just not everybody was paying attention.
Yeah.
And now everybody's paying attention. They're like, oh, look at this shit. And America's probably, it has lost so much of its fucking shine. You know what I mean? Like, it's looking kind of that. Did
you hear about the shit in Philadelphia?
Yep.
A few days ago?
Yep. I watched the videos. Did you watch them?
I watched a couple on the Citizen app, but like nothing that like showed anything like.
Oh no, I watched
extreme.
the whole thing, and I'm torn. Right? Of course, they didn't need to use deadly force. They could have. I think they could have used other things, but dude was coming at them with a knife. Like he was coming at them, and just like I saw a video like a year and a half ago of this guy right here on Queen, actually further up Queen, and he was in his front porch. It was a white dude with a knife, and he was sitting there talking, and he's like, "I'm gonna come out here. I'm coming for you." And they were just sitting there like, "Dude, put down that knife." He put down that knife, and he took a few steps out, and they lit his ass up. And I was like, I see things. I watch. I pay attention, and I'm like, they look for reasons to murder anybody, right?
Yeah.
I think if you're lower class and white, because it's a North Side neighborhood, he wasn't a well-off white dude, you know. were, and I was like, I wonder if NYZ that wouldn't have happened, you know, or places like that. But here it did, and I'm like, why not use your other options that you have? You have a stun gun. You have stun guns. You have batons. You have training. You have, honestly, why don't they, when they have knife attacks, why don't they have a knife blanket? No shit. Like, when my sister used to come at us with a knife, I'd get our big, thick-ass blanket and let her come at me, and I'd spider web it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like nullified her whole hand, wrapped her shit up, and slapped my sister up, you know? She used to chase me and my older sister around the house with a fucking knife when she got mad like a maniac, you know? You learn defenses, like in a knife attack. Like,
no, you're right, but here's the thing: like, they have like combat training and shit like that, and they have options for non-lethal, but they've also had the opportunity up until recently in a lot of stations to like do like this warrior training, and they basically tell them like, oh, well, your life is always at stake. Everybody you encounter is a possible threat.
Right.
And that's the mentality that all these cops have adopted, and they've been spreading around across precincts for a good minute now. And then they get away with it because the police unions are, like, immune from a lot of their actions.
Right.
It's really fucked up. And, like, as far as, like, their conflict resolution training, I have more hours in any Pokemon game, in any Animal Crossing game, in any Final Fantasy game. I have more hours in Genshin Impact, which is a very new game, than they do in conflict resolution training.
I feel like
I should pull up the statistics real quick.
You should probably pick a better example of game. like
I have more experience playing Street Fighter.
You played a Street Fighter forever. Dude. Like, that's not fair. That's like a lifetime of training. Like, how long have you played Dig Dug for?
More than the cops have conflict resolution training.
Exactly. Like, how much time have you spent masturbating in front of a mirror? So, what are you reading?
I'm trying to find. There was this infographic that I found a while back, and it showed like how many hours police have in like X, Y, and Z.
I just know it's not a lot of training, right? And that's why I always go for ex-military and, like, not social workers, but, like, psychologists. I think that would make a great team. I keep saying that. You know what I mean?
Right.
A psychologist with training, with combat training, not necessarily experience, and then a vet with psychology training. How about that?
They have, okay, so it says on average it's like 672 hours of training, right?
Yeah.
480 of that, oh wait. Nope, this one doesn't have fucking good enough stats. Hang on.
Not good enough. Hold on, I gotta find something that'll fit my narrative.
No, I mean, like it was like two numbers, and it was like, oh well, in certain states they have to get this much, but in other states they have to get this much.
I'm just fucking with you, man.
But it doesn't show, like, it doesn't break it down.
Right. Dude, I gotta get a haircut.
I'm gonna find this shit. One day I'm gonna find it, and we'll come back to this subject.
Well, it's not a subject that's gonna be like gone,
right?
You know, it goes back to our last podcast. You know what I mean? Tribalism. I mean, cause like right now we even got minorities who are pro-Trump, right? Lots of them, like black, Mexican, like a lot of Mexican people actually. But I think that's just because how conservative they are, you know. And I saw an interview with Edward James Olmos. You remember his old ass?
Mm-hmm.
And he was explaining like that's probably like the number one reason why there's a lot of Hispanic people who are voting for Trump is because of how conservative they are. A lot of Catholics and shit. And they're like, I go to work, you stay home, or we both work, family oriented, like, you know, just like that. Let God lead me instead of, you know, doing research.
Here's a question. How many cops actually have a law degree?
Exactly. There's a lot of law to cover,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And maybe they should have the lawyers sit in the middle. The psychologist, the war vet, and the lawyer.
There's always a lawyer on deck. Like, don't say anything.
Don't do that. Like the cop's gonna put his knee on there, like, hey, no, don't do that. That's a lot of money.
Do you really want to be on the news?
Yeah, right. I feel like maybe they should, like 3 deep, like a moving truck, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Or some shit where there's just 3 guys in the front, 3 guys in a truck. They won't even be called police anymore. I'm gonna call 3 guys in a truck, and they're gonna come here and take care of the situation. And it'll be padded in the back. That way, people can't complain about being crowded and crumpled in and like injured. They can just like tie you up like real softly, and like softly throw you into the back of the truck, and you can ride around and bounce around softly. Whee! It'd be fun, and they have strobe light on there and shit.
But then you end up going to jail.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. That'd be cool. But no, could you imagine that? And they're getting better options. Like, you remember that thing? It looks like a stun gun or like a taser, and then they point it at somebody and it shoots them, and it like wraps around them,
Mm-hmm.
and it hooks into their clothing and shit. And like those things should be like every cop should have at least 2 of those, or at least if it multiple shots. I don't know. That'd be cool if it is, right?
Well, I mean, look at Japan, man. Like, they've got really tight gun control,
Mm-hmm.
and as a result, their cops don't shoot nobody.
Well, they got a real homogenous ass country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose there's that.
There's a lot of like-mindedness going on there. Whereas here, it's like we got everybody. There was a lot of different people here with a lot of different ideas. Like even in the same neighborhood, there's people with different ideas. You know, it's kind of interesting. I wonder how like Great Britain and your like United Kingdom or like Spain or Russia or like Hong Kong or any of these places, like the ideals that run around in these people.
I mean, Great Britain's kind of diverse now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's what I mean.
Oh, and definitely Hong Kong.
Yeah. Well, that's what
I
I'm
don't know
talking
much about Spain, but
like, you know,
like France.
all those port states or all those port countries, you know, in
Yeah.
France, you know, there's a lot of diversity going on, and I wonder like if everybody is just as like here with their ideas, you know, instead of everybody's like thinking along the same lines, because a lot of people seem to like I don't know, it really is, it's just like a bunch of different holes to try to line up. Everybody's just a bunch of different things. It's so different here, and yeah, we all look at each other and put each other in groups.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird. It really is. Like, I know I'm native, right? But a lot of people want to put me in like, oh, you're an alcoholic, or oh, you're lazy, or oh, you like to play drums, or oh, you like to dance, like with, you know,
Yeah.
in a powwow, or oh, you like to gamble, or oh, you get casino money, or oh, you know, you're lazy and yada, and just all these fucking things. And I'm like, I am almost like none of that. I'm lazy when I want to be lazy. I think everybody wants to be lazy at times. it's just weird how everybody gets to put each other in boxes and not realize like how different everything is.
Trying not to is an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Like, and that hill is steep.
It is. It is. I think it's really hard. I think because the way I view everybody is like weird and different, like a fingerprint. I feel like everyone's that are all like thinking the same are the weird ones to me. It's like, how do you not?
I can get behind that.
How do you not think for yourself?
Not even once.
Right. It's like dealing with a bunch of people is like one person, and it's weird. It's like the weirdest shit. It's like a bunch of bees that make a face. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah, like Skate or Die. Remember that shit?
Yep.
Where the bees would make like shapes and shit and come after you. Yeah. It's weird. That mob
or like how like
mentality.
cartoon bees like make like axes out of themselves or like arrows or some shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What y'all know about them cartoon bees?
Right. Remember the honeycomb bee?
Oh, it's been so long.
It's been a long
It's
time.
because they've always had the honeycomb monster
Oh, yeah,
for so
now
long.
the
Like,
honeycomb
you want
monster.
honeycomb?
Yep. It's been a long time. Man, those days are gone. With all the great cereals, they're all gone. Now we got knockoff versions of the best cereals in the world.
It's still good as fuck though.
It is.
I will eat those Tutti Fruities. Those marshmallow mateys.
All the bag cereal. I got like 4 bags on top of my fridge.
You can get big
now.
dumbass bags of the same shit
Right.
for like the same price of like one little box
Right.
of some other shit of the same variety.
Apocalypse is coming. The end of the world.
Stock up on cereal.
Stock about cereal. No, but yeah, like I was saying, like Joe Biden and Trump are our choices. I already made my choice. I think I just want this to be over with. I wish it was 4 years from now and we had 2 new people to choose from. And Kanye West.
I was just about to say something about Kanye West. I was about to jokingly be like, I'm voting for Kanye West.
Part of me wants to wanted to only because fucking Jennifer Aniston. She's like, don't waste. I'm like, bitch, I am tired of celebrities trying to tell me what the fuck to do. So I just out of spite, I was like, Kanye West. Let me write that name there.
You don't have to. It's right there on the ballot. You just
No, dude.
circle that bitch in.
So the thing is,
Please don't vote for Kanye West.
Kanye West. No. No, the thing is, like, next election, if things go crazy, because I think technically he can come back next election and run for presidency again. And I'm not talking about Kanye. I'm talking about Trump.
Can he?
I think so.
I think he can only run 2 terms.
Exactly.
Oh,
He can only
because
be-
he only ran 1 term.
He's only been in
It
it
feels like such a long 4 years. I legit thought it's already been 2 terms. That's how long 4 years have been this last term.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yep. Oh man, like part of me wanted Trump to win way back in the day, but only just because I knew it would show like what kind of power the president has and like what a person's actually capable, and then all the other bullshit, like it would show all of the ignorant shit, and boy, I guess I didn't really need all that.
It's been the longest running, worst soap opera ever, and I'm tired of it. I just want it to be done.
Yep.
I honestly don't care who becomes president besides Trump. I really don't.
I didn't vote.
I really don't.
That was my fault. I should have voted between Trump and Hillary, but I didn't because I couldn't.
I couldn't either.
I couldn't bring myself to do it, and now we're in a situation.
It's up to us to save the world because we
But
fucked
here's
it
the
up.
thing. But no. just okay. Where do you think the world would be if Hillary was in? Do you think there'd still be a fucking war going on with Russia and all that shit over there? And what country is that? Where they had the
Georgia?
where they had the fucking mustard gas shit.
I know this. We were talking about it.
Yeah, I can't even think of right now
long
because
time
we
ago.
smoke too much. Not Kazakhstan.
And we ended up ditching the Kurds. We had an ally down there.
Exactly,
then,
the Kurds. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so like that shit happened, right? With Turkey and all that, and believe it or not, Trump actually I don't know if he did, but like while under his
administration,
term, that shit got squashed or didn't get squashed. It's just like
they didn't open up the doors for Russia, basically.
Right? Yeah, but we didn't get involved because Russia, like if that whole thing would have popped off between America and Russia, then all the allies would have had to have joined in because they're in like fucking war pacts with these fucking countries. You know what I mean? And we would have had World War III. So I can be grateful for that. But do you think that shit? Because Hillary Clinton's a war-hungry ass bitch, dude. Like, it's just in her. Like, just look at her record. Just look at what she all voted. You know, what she's going for. She's a wartime president. That's what she was trying to be. And
you think that's like what a lot of presidents
Yes.
are trying to do, though? Like,
Yes.
I mean, like,
Yes.
almost every president.
Every
is
president.
Like, I want to go to war with something.
Every president has a conflict. Every president.
Almost every president that I can remember being told about in recent history.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I wasn't here for fucking Taft.
Since I think it was World War I when we discovered like how profitable war is, because we were in horse and buggy country. After that, after World War I,
everything took off.
Industrial Revolution and all that shit, right? And the central bank moved to America from England or wherever it was over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now we had like all the power and all the money. And then after that, it was like, what kind of conflict can we get into now? And and there's been war after war after war. Like, when's the last time there wasn't
Aside
war?
from the Cold War, there was Vietnam,
The Korean
War, the Operation Desert Storm.
Yep. All these skirmishes and all
these
these
like
other
little
countries.
small skirmishes where we like fueled like all these like fucking rogue groups and shit who now become the terrorists we hunt down.
Right.
Fucking
the Philippines. Like, remember Henry Kissinger fucking had that place carpet bombed and killed up 300,000 people. Like, what the fuck? Like, all of like, it's just been constant, dude. Bam, 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 bam,
and
bam.
we got territory we don't even need, like Guam.
Right. Puerto Rico's trying to vote to become a state.
They should have been a state. They got the right to vote for president.
I know, but they're trying to be an actual state now.
They got Congress people and senators and shit.
Yeah, that's why they might as well just be a state. So I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to be a state right now. So
they can't get ignored if they're a state.
Nope. Puerto Rican, man. They're gonna pull a knife on you. No, that's some racist shit right there. I don't know, man. It was a tough vote, and this year's a tough vote. It was a tough vote, but it wasn't that tough. You know, we need a fresh start, and I feel like we need a new way of thinking about how to run this country besides this one president shit. One to rule them all is just kind of fucking...
I'm under the multi-president philosophy.
There's some rules that need to change, for real. Lobbyists,
done.
Off with their heads, man. Like, for real.
Money shouldn't change your politics. If you're going to come in here with radical politics, it should be your own and nobody else's.
Okay, yeah, right. No shit. If a company can donate millions of dollars as if it was a person, but it doesn't have to pay taxes because it's not a person, like, fuck that. That's not cool.
I often think about getting into some form of politics. Like, I really want to get into being. I want to be in the city council here at some point.
Right.
Maybe I can use that to move upward. But like the thing is that like I don't want to be a lobbyist if I do start doing that shit. You know what I mean? Like if I get like way up there, like I don't ever want to like have money influence my decisions.
Don't worry, man.
Like
if it does, I'll be sure to kill you.
Pinky promise. Because if you don't, I'm coming for that pinky.
You got a lighter? A good one. It better be a good one.
But nah, man. I don't think I would ever want to aspire to get that high into politics. I'd have to want to stay local.
It's a dangerous thing, I think. I don't know. It's a different world. They walk amongst the evil, you know? It's not to say that like serial killers aren't normal people like us, but like these people are moving mountains and killing like a lot of people with the decisions they make. And a lot of people don't realize like these people are in control of a lot of people's lives with just the decisions that they make. Like yeah, we control our lives by deciding to get into this car and deciding this, but these people are thinking about putting chemicals in your water or in your air or in your food, or like all of these fucking things like this, or like they like,
or even taking over water sources you were using for your city and making you move to your own water source.
Right. So it's crazy. It's crazy.
We should probably cut this one short though.
You gotta leave.
I got previous engagements I gotta get to.
You mean you gotta go to work?
I gotta go to work.
Previous engagement. You make it sound
I'm
like
trying to be all sophisticated and shit. Like I got things to do, son.
All right, that's cool. I'll let you go. I wonder if this thing is still blowing heat out. Furnace still works.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, y'all.
I don't know, man. I think the world's gonna end.
If this is the last podcast we record,
no, I think just wait till after November 3rd. November 3rd will.
Are we gonna wait till the 3rd to record?
No. I mean, it's what, the 30th or 28th?
We could stream.
I don't know. When do the ballots come in? I forget. It probably won't be for a while since all the mail-ins.
You can at least see who's voting live, like currently, though.
Yeah.
And then we can live a terrible lie until January.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Well, it was a good one.
Indeed.
You look tired, man. You got a long fucking day.
I had a long day.
You have a long day.
I have a long day. Yep. Let's do this.
All right.
Getting to the point where I have nothing else to talk about anyway. But you're complaining like an old ass man. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe on whatever platform you're
listening to us on
or watching us on.
Yeah.
If you be sure to comment or subscribe, comment or like if it's like a YouTube thingy.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe.
And if you're like looking at us on Anchor FM, you could also drop us a line there as well.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter
at Nuclear Plate,
and leave us an idea for what we should talk about next time. Yeah.
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 All right, y'all.
Cool. Peace. Turn that shit off, dude. You look tired. I'm gonna give you some cocaine.